I'm astrologer and life coach Penny Dix. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome back if you are a regular visitor here. And if you're new here, a big welcome to you. I would love it if you could subscribe. So today I'm looking at the chart, the natal chart of Prince Harry, who is the Duke of Sussex and the son of King Charles III. And I'm looking at it in comparison with the energy around the launch of that book that he's written, the book called Spare. And I just thought it might be interesting to look at this energy to see whether this is a good thing for him to be doing at the moment or not. And on first glances at the energy for the day the book is launched in the United Kingdom, I wouldn't have chosen that day. He really needs to get one of his mum's astrologers to be on his case and give him a bit of guidance. But anyway, what I'm going to do first is just have a quick look at his natal chart and then bring in the energy of the book launch astrology. So Prince Harry is a Sun Virgo. So he is someone who is prone to worry. He wants everything to be right. He would like everything to be correct. And that's, you know, all well and good. I think it's interesting that he also he's got a very earthy based chart because both his sun and his moon and his ascendant are in earth signs. So he gets a bit, he's got a kind of a conflict between fixed, mutable and cardinal. So his Capricorn ascendant, which must have been incredibly difficult for him to navigate the last 15 years or so, has been, I think, one of the main features of his chart that has caused him such difficulties. Because Capricorn is a sign of determination. It's the sign that wants to get to the top of the mountain, whichever that particular mountain is. And with it being cardinal, so he has this cardinal energy as his ascendant, he just wants to get things done. He wants to go and he wants to build his particular empire. Now, the sun in Virgo, which is in the 9th house, kind of shows that there is a connection with long distance, far distance, but also with kind of knowledge and understanding and, in a sense, learning. It's interesting because his midheaven is Libra, and it would be interesting to know what he would have done if he hadn't gone into the armed forces, because with this kind of energy, one might expect him to have gone into a more either teaching role or actually into something which is about balance and fairness, like being a legal professional, a lawyer, or even a judge or a magistrate. I think he's very fed up with people judging him because that Libran midheaven makes him look, I think, quite fairly at both sides of the story and seek out truth. His moon, bless him, is in Taurus. So he's got this fixed energy around him with his moon, this earth. So there's a kind of a yearning for that kind of deep connectedness and caring, which we all know didn't last for very long in his growing up years. What's super interesting too is that in the 4th house of his chart, which is an Aries chart, there is the symbolic point in space called Lilith in Aries, along with Eris, the goddess of strife and discord. And they are conjunct in Aries in his 4th house. There's nothing else there. And it shows that home life was a bit like a battlefield. And of course, we know that that is what he probably experienced to a greater or lesser degree. What's interesting in the part of the chart that is about his career or his kind of way forward in life, his kind of soul path, he has Venus in Libra. Now, Venus rules Libra. So this blesses him with a wonderful ability to try and really see the best and to see the fairness in situations. But he's also got Pluto in Scorpio here. Now, Pluto rules Scorpio, so it's in a good position. But Pluto is kind of like, it transforms, it turns his world upside down. And the 10th house can be parents as well as the 4th house. So this is where he experienced this parental kind of just complete upside down world and way of living. So his chart really does kind of express what he's had to cope with as he's gone through life. But I was curious to see why he is in or was in the armed forces. He has Saturn in Scorpio. Now, Saturn in Scorpio can, to a certain extent, it can mean that father is absent in some way, either distant emotionally or just not around much. And Saturn as well in the 11th house, I think probably is this part of him that enjoyed the military structure and discipline that he learnt about whilst he spent time in the army. He has Uranus in Sagittarius. Ouch, that's a bit, he can be very explosive. He can really, well, we know he can. He will make his point, let's put it that way. He's also got Mars in Sagittarius, which is widely conjunct his Uranus, and it's trapped in the 12th house of his chart. There's so much inner frustration for this man. He really wants to break out. He wants to be free. He just, and it's so difficult for him because also in his 12th house, he's got Jupiter in Capricorn and Neptune in Sagittarius. Let me explain. This Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, Neptune in Sagittarius, that's difficult. This is misinformation, going in the wrong direction. It's secrets and lies. It's smoke and mirrors. Jupiter's expanding all of that. And with the Capricorn energy of the tradition, of institutions, of, in a sense, what he's been brought up within, with the firm, which is known as the royal family. So there has been an incredible amount of difficulty for him to cope with and live with what he's been born into. So his chart, in a sense, without even knowing what or how his life unfolded, we could say, oh, this is going to be a young man with difficulties as he grows up. So let's bring in the launch of the book, because the book launch happens on the 10th of January in the United Kingdom. I don't know if that's worldwide as well. I would imagine it probably goes worldwide as well. So the interesting thing with this particular energy, one of the first things that jumped out at me is what's going on in his 5th house. The 5th house is about creativity. So it can very well be the fact that he has this project, this book that he's launching. And his moon, his natal moon is here. This is about mother. This is about his need for his own family, his longing for his own children, which he is now blessed with. Now, transiting Uranus, that is retrograde, still in Taurus on the day of the launch of the book, is actually conjunct his natal moon. These are the shocking revelations and exposés that are coming out. The fifth house can also be about siblings. So this is his brother William as well. And whilst he has this energy conjunct his moon, I think he won't leave any stone unturned until he finds a way to find not only inner resolution, but to somehow be heard. He really needs to be heard. That is something that is coming up in this chart. Now, also what is interesting, stridently awful in this fifth house, retrograde Mars in Gemini, Mars, anger, anguish, cutting, fighting, is conjunct his natal Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer. They're both in Gemini. Gemini is the sign of communication. This is the book. This is his nemesis. Whether he can get through this and come out the other end in one piece is difficult to see at the present time, because there's so much that is hidden. Because in his third house of communication, transiting Neptune is there. So that even now it's difficult to see clearly what the truth is. Jupiter is there as well in Aries. And Jupiter is about truth. He is trying so hard to get what he sees as his truth out there. I think, thank goodness, he's a Capricorn ascendant, because I think he has the backbone, the strength, the stamina to survive what may get directed towards him, because I think there will be a lot of collateral damage and flack that will come from this. If I was his astrologer, I would have said, listen, honey, don't launch this book now. Go back and review it, tweak it, re-edit it. Mercury's retrograde currently. Mercury is conjunct the Sun in Capricorn, and it's in his first house of his identity. And so is Pluto in Capricorn, the planet of transformation. He so wants to grow from this. He so wants to shift and bring everything in line with a kind of the 21st century. But you know, Harry, bless you, one man can't change an institution. Yes, you're doing your best. Yes, you're trying. And yes, this book is going to make you a lot of money, because you have Venus in Aquarius moving into the second house where Saturn is. You're never going to have to worry about your financial security. But launching this book right at this time was not such a good idea. I think it's going to make it more controversial. I think there's going to be more flack, and it's just going to be, in general, difficult for him. So what advice would I give Prince Harry at the moment? Well, I would say you have got to follow your own star, and I think we all have to respect that. But try and look for the healing. Try and go for the healing. I think from some of the interviews, the snippets that I've heard that he's done, he is actually on that path of looking for the healing. And Chiron, which is the wounded healer, is actually in his fourth house, conjunct his natal Lilith. He wants his mother's name, in a sense, cleared and really kind of respected. I think that's incredibly important to him. What happens to him with his family really colours how he moves forward. And of course, we've heard him say, the ball is in their court. So maybe that's how we have to bring this particular video to a close and say, you know, God bless you, Prince Harry. I think you're very brave. I think your timing could have been better as a Capricorn. Really, it's all about timing. But if you wanted to upset the apple cart, congratulations. I think the timing of the launch of this book has done it amazingly. But I do wish you well. And just to everyone else, thank you so much for coming here to hear my take on his natal chart and the launch of the book known as The Spare. And I think there lies the rub. He doesn't want to be anyone's spare. Thank you so much for joining me. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.